Welcome back. In the last episode, we downloaded and installed Power BI. Now, in this episode, we're going to go into a little bit of an introduction before we start firing up Power BI Desktop. Just getting an understanding of what exactly is Power BI. So what exactly is Power BI Desktop? It is a free application from Microsoft. Recall that when we were actually downloading or looking to download the Power BI Desktop, notice that there is this part here that states it is free for you to download and utilize. We did go to this option to actually make use of the various options to download. So let me move this out of the way. What else can Power BI Desktop actually do? It allows you to connect to and transform as well as visualize your data. Now, connect to here means that your data could be sitting in Excel, could be sitting in the CSV, could be sitting in a database, or various distributed, meaning it's sitting in other people's computer somewhere. So it allows you to connect to those databases to extract the data that you required. Allows you to transform them, meaning manipulate it to a form that you want to utilize. And finally, visualize your data. Now that you've got data, usually it's rows and rows of information, usually it's numbers, sometimes in text. You need to visualize them, and that's where the various form of visualization comes in handy. Now, visualization doesn't necessarily mean bar chart or line chart. If you're working with unstructured data, which is text quite often, then you need to use different visualization tools, or visuals we call it. The other advantage of Power BI Desktop is it allows you to connect to multiple different sources of data. Not just one, it can connect to multiple of them at the same time, and allows you to combine them. And quite often this is called modeling in the context of Power BI Desktop into what we call a data model. Okay, data model here really means how the data connects to each other. So that's really what that actually meant. It will be clearer because right now the concept is a little bit on the abstract side. So once you have the data model, it allows you to build visuals and collections of visuals. You can share as well as report them, share them in the form of a report. You've seen the report before. You've seen a combination of visuals I've shown you before as well. But just to actually help you jog your memories, I'll just borrow this website again. Notice that this is one visual, okay, and this is another visual, and this is yet another visual. And actually there are 1, 2, 3 more here as well. So this is what you call the whole thing here. It's called report. Notice that there are tabs as well. So these are individual visuals on its own. All right, so let me move that out of the way again. Okay. And most users who worked on business intelligence projects, what they do is that they use the Power BI Desktop to create reports, because that is really the most flexible and most powerful of the different parts of Power BI. So they use the desktop to create reports, and then use Power BI Service to share this report with others. Again, in previous lessons, I've shared that Power BI Service is web-based, is cloud-based, and it makes it easier for you to share. Assuming, of course, that is if you have a Power BI Premium or Power BI Pro license. So other things, common uses, it allows you to connect to data, transform and clean the data, create visuals, create reports, as I mentioned before, on one or more report pages, and finally share with others by using the Power BI services. So these are the 5 key usage of Power BI. Connect the data, transform and clean the data, create visuals, create reports, and finally share reports. A little bit further, step back a little bit further, is regards to the job roles or the individuals who create these reports. Most people are often responsible for tasks that create business intelligence reports are what you call data analysts, or analysts quite often. Sometimes they're also called business intelligence professionals, and sometimes reported as report creators. These are individuals who pull all the data together, create the dashboard in accordance to what their managers or reporting officers required, and create it as so for their senior management. Now, a lot of people don't consider themselves analysts or report creator. They still use Power BI Desktop, however, to create reports for themselves, to understand their line business or the performance of their line business, and use it as a form of intelligence to help them in decision making. So that's what we call data-driven decision making. So this allowed them to pull data from various sources and build data models, which you can share or they can share with their workers or co-workers, and as well as organization. So this is really a very quick introduction to what is Power BI Desktop. When we come back, we're going to walk through a tour, I guess you can call that, the desktop, the Power BI Desktop, just so that you can be familiarized with it before we actually start getting into the real work. I'll see you in the next lesson.